Hi, everybody. I'm here today to talk to you about abstinence and masturbation. The question was posed to me: if you are abstaining and you're masturbating, are you abstaining? Well, in order to answer this the way that I received it, is to explain about fasting. Fasting is a practice of subduing the flesh and enhancing the spirit. By subduing the flesh, we deprive ourselves as much as possible of the five senses, which is touch, taste, sound, sight, and smell. Most of the time, we practice taste as far as eating food and appeasing our taste sense. Oftentimes, when I fast from as many senses as possible during that fast, in order to heighten the spiritual experience and communication and sensories with God. When doing this, we have to understand that what we're to do while we deprive the senses is feed the spirit. We feed the spirit. The only thing we feed the spirit is the Word of God. We feed the spirit the Word of God. We listen to worship music, read the Word, because the Word is the bread of life. What gives us life in the spirit is the Word of God, which is the bread of life. If we feed on the Word, our spirit lives and flourishes. Okay? This is the food that the spirit needs to survive. Just as the food that we eat is what the body needs to survive. Okay. So, when we do this, we are heightening our spiritual communication with God. So, what we have to learn to do is to maintain balance in our life. We have to learn to live in the spirit, because that is what God calls us to do, live in the spirit. We have to maintain balance, though. The spirit is the one that has dominion over our flesh. Our flesh should not be what is ruling us. The spirit should be ruling the flesh. So, just like when you train a dog, and you'll have this dog under strict manners. As soon as you release the dog takes off and it just is all over the place. And, because it's happy to be free. So when you abstain from sex and you're a super sexual person and have been practicing this act all the time, I do believe that it is unhealthy and counterproductive to stop cold turkey. I think masturbation is a tool that can be used to help you wean yourself off of sex. I think that it is a tool that can be used to help you to learn more about yourself and how you are reacting mentally and physically to sex. When you go cold turkey with abstaining, I think there is two ways that you can go. You can either go cold turkey, which for me personally, that's what I chose to do. I chose to go cold turkey because I felt like the masturbation, first of all, even before being a believer, I was not a person who was heavily into masturbation. That's just not my thing. I'm not into masturbation. I don't use toys. I don't use any of these things. I like a live person. And my sexual reactions are only triggered by emotional connection to someone else. A man can stand up naked in front of me and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice to look at, but it's not doing anything to me physically. What does something to me physically is the emotional, mental connection, that type of stimulation. So in terms of masturbation, that's just never been something that I've ever really been into. But I know people who are, and I think that it has its place. I think that so for me, cold turkey and no masturbation is best for me. Now, if you're a person who really, struggles, I don't think that there would be anything wrong with using masturbation as a means of weaning yourself off of having sexual activity with another person. Some people are easily physically stimulated. And for those people, I think that it would be a good tool to use. There is no soul tie being created through masturbation. So I don't see how it can hurt you if done with discipline and intentionality. That being said, I believe that psychologically, when you tell someone not to do something, as a person can not eat every day until like 3 o'clock and they're cool. But the minute they wake up in the morning and decide, I'm going to fast today, like 2 hours later, you're going crazy because you desperately want to eat. Why? Because you told yourself you're not going to eat. So when you tell yourself you're not going to have sex, immediately you start wanting sex. So I feel like the masturbation idea of giving yourself permission to do this will help you then to be able to regulate yourself and free yourself from that psychological trap of, oh my gosh, I can't do this, so now I want it really, really bad. I think that everything that we do needs to be done with intentionality and discipline. So, if you are a person who finds himself trying to abstain and you're having a difficult time and you're trying to figure out how can I appease myself, you could masturbate, you could try exercising, you could try a massage, you could try dancing, you could try comedy, which stimulates a lot of laughter, which is a physical reaction. You could try many other things that are physical activities that are pleasure inducing, that can help you, as well as you can masturbate. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that it can be used as a training tool. Everyone's not going to agree with me on this. I think that, when it comes to trying to live according to the will of God and be pure and keep your temple pure, I think that it is important to give yourself permission to feel and to feel pleasure, and it is good to understand the concept behind everything that you're doing and why. When you fully understand it and you don't try to put certain parts of yourself in prison, so to speak, it makes for a freer mindset and a freer life. I have a friend who called and confessed to me, I keep drinking alcohol every chance I get and listening to trap music, because this person really was always really liked rap music. It's just something that they enjoy, and so they are trying to completely cold turkey, not drink, not listen to rap music. And my question is, why are you starving your flesh like this? As long as you continue to try to starve yourself, you're going to continue to long for it and be thinking about it all the time. So give yourself a day. Designate a particular day when you give yourself permission for a period of time, I'm going to listen to music that I enjoy, and I'm going to have a beer and just give myself permission to do that on that one day every week when I'm by myself and I could just, feel good. Once the person started doing that, it wasn't such a big issue in their life anymore, and they weren't looking for it every day because they knew on that day they could look forward to on that day doing this and giving their flesh what it is, longing for, what it likes, what feels good, what sounds good. And then it became not that important to them anymore. And sometimes they don't even think about doing it. But when they do think about doing it, they know, oh, okay, well, on that day, on Monday, I'm going to do that, But it stopped ruling their life because they gave themselves permission to feel, permission to have pleasure, permission to indulge in things that the flesh wants. You can't feed your dog treats all day long. That's not healthy. But every now and then, you give your dog a treat. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy. That's what I believe we all need to try harder to maintain balance in our life. You can't just be in the Word 24/7. You have to, which if you are, that's okay, but you have to find ways to invite pleasure senses into your life. You have to feed your pleasure senses. You cannot completely starve and deprive your flesh from the things that it is longing for and desiring. Balance is the key. So all of that being said, I believe that masturbation is something that can be healthy when used intentionally and with discipline, just like anything else. I hope this answer helps the person that asked, and I hope that it helps other people. I hope I explained it properly, and drop me a comment and let me know what you think about masturbation and abstinence. Do you think that masturbation do you think that if you're masturbating and you are abstinent, that you're still abstinent if you're masturbating? This is my answer. I think no. I think you're still abstinent if you're not having sex with another person and you're masturbating. This is my thoughts. Let me hear yours.